have resisted the temptation to name and shame any member because I feel and know the devastating effect it can have on honorable members, especially first-term members. Consequently, honorable members, I undertook to guide the House on this matter. In this regard, honorable members, in my communicational guide on the rules on dress code, admittance of visitors to Parliament, and security measures within the precincts of Parliament, since they are all related. Let me commence with the matter of dress code. As you may be aware, honorable members, this is not the first time the Speaker has been invited to determine the appropriateness or otherwise of members' dress code. I have gone through the Speaker's rulings from 1963 to 2022 and established several instances where presiding officers were called upon to rule on the dress code. The decisions made by my predecessors are clear on what would pass as appropriate dress code for members while attending parliamentary business. Now that there is no lacuna, I will refrain from delving into the substance of the point of order raised by the minority party whip and other issues attendant thereto. Instead, I'll focus on what the rules and the presidents of the House expect of honorable members on matters of dress code. Honorable members, prescription of a parliamentary dress code is important as it not only establishes the sartorial standards of the House, but also preserves its honor and dignity as an august House. It is for this reason that parliamentary dress code has been jealously guarded and defended over the years, not only in our House, but in houses all over. To this end, parliaments the world over have anchored descriptive provisions on the dress code of members of Parliament, staff, and other persons admitted to the precincts of Parliament. In the case of this House, appropriate dress code is described in Rule number 9 of the Speaker's rules, and the rule provides as follows, and I quote, "Members of Parliament, members of the press, and guests should not enter the chamber, lounge, dining room, or committee rooms without being properly dressed. A proper dress for men means a coat, a collar, a tie, long-sleeved shirt, long trousers, socks, shoes, or service uniform. For the ladies, business, formal, or smart casual wear applies. Skirts and dresses should be below knee length and decent. Sleeveless blouses are prohibited." Honorable members, whereas the rule is clear, determination of the Speaker has been sought on various occasions owing to the variants that the described dressing has assumed over time. Of interest to the matter at hand is the appropriateness of religious regalia, Kaunda suits, hats, capes for men, and traditional cultural wear in the context of Rule 9. Honorable members, with regard to Kaunda suits, I need not belabor the fact that several members of the 13th Parliament and past houses have donned Kaunda suits. For the record, donning of Kaunda suits has somehow gained acceptance in the House since the 8th Parliament, when the then member for Runyenjes, Honorable Njeru Kadhangu, always wore the attire. In subsequent parliaments, including the 12th Parliament, certain members have seemingly been following the Honorable Kadhangu's footsteps. Senior Counsel, the Honorable Dr. Otienda Molo MP, the member for Riede, stands out as having a particular taste for collarless coats. The same was the case of the former member for Kisumu Town West, the Honorable Olago Aluoch, among others. Honorable members, my predecessors have had no issue with Kaunda suits. The records of the House include a ruling made on Wednesday, 13th March 2019, on appropriate dress code for members in Parliament, in which my immediate predecessor, Speaker Justin Muturi, who also loves similar attire, reaffirmed that indeed, as I ruled before in 2014, Kaunda suits and even, for lack of a better term, the Mao Zedong coats, worn without a tie, are admissible as part of proper dressing in the House. Consequently, despite clear provisions by Rule 9 of the Speaker's rules, Kaunda suit has somehow been tolerated in the House. However, honorable members, arising from emerging fashion trends that now threaten the establishment of parliamentary dress code, it has become necessary for me to depart from what has been obtaining regarding the admittance of the Kaunda suit as appropriate dress. I do this to guard against negating the said standards, especially given the current preference by some members to dress easy while attending parliamentary business in plenary and committees. This practice outrightly does not accord with the seriousness of the proceedings of the House and its committees. Going forward, therefore, honorable members, any attire outside what is prescribed in Rule 9 of the Speaker's rules is prohibited. This includes Kaunda suits, whether long or short-sleeved. With respect to other gracious honorable lady members, I have been petitioned regarding appropriate attire for the distinguished honorable members. These concerns have largely been raised by fellow gracious lady members who have asked me to protect the dignity of the House and its committees. In this regard, honorable members, it's instructive that lady members must also be dressed in official attire at all times while in the presence of Parliament and while attending committee meetings, in adherence to Rule 9 of the Speaker's rules. Honorable lady members must also avoid tightly fitting clothes and revealing attire. The above directive is in no way meant to prefect honorable members, but to protect and uphold the dignity of the House and your stature as honorable members of Parliament. Honorable members, allow me to now address the second issue on the place of traditional or cultural attire in the chamber. You recall on the Tuesday, 15th August 2023, I exceptionally permitted the Honorable Rebecca Tonkei, MP, and the Honorable Agnes Pareyo, MP, to momentarily be in the chamber while donning in Maasai cultural dress. It is instructive for the House to take note that the admittance to the House of the two gracious lady members ought not to be constructed or construed as having been rewritten or suspended the application of Rule 9 of the Speaker's rules. For the record, I indulge the two members with the utmost regard to the circumstances of that particular moment. As you may recall, honorable members, the two gracious lady members sought the Speaker's permission to don the Maasai cultural attire to publicize the Ma Cultural Festival 2023, which was scheduled to be observed at the end of that week. I therefore invoked my exceptional intelligence on the premise of Article 44 of the Constitution relating to promotion and manifestation of cultures. Consequently, the provisions of Rule 9 as a threshold for dress code to protect the sartorial standards of the House still applies. And Tonkei and Pareyo, you'll not be allowed again. Looking at the practice, it is noteworthy that in 2009, Speaker Kenneth Marende grappled with the question as to whether to permit traditional wear in the chamber or not. Further, the Speaker also considered whether indeed there was a non-dress that would pass as a standard national traditional wear that could be permitted in the chamber.